I'm gonna do that real quick. You would think at some point that I would get used to actually remembering to like switch lights and everything. Those PJs look comfortable. They are. We should be good. But yeah, hi everybody. It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. I hope the day was restful and productive for y'all. I slept a lot. Like, way more than I intended to. Like, a lot. So... yeah, basically the long and short of it is, I would have preferred not to sleep as much as I did today, but like, I have just been... a bit pushed, but I'm alright. Can't be overall. I'm just finishing up the last of... dinner right now. But we're alright. Let me turn down this music though, because this is too loud. Yeah, it's keeping me from thinking. So yeah, the plan for today is basically, we're gonna do tumble ring stuff. Basically. Mystery game. I would like to get back to streaming that, but I think we need to like take a little more time to build up some things on the back end again in order to make sure that like things kind of like are as they are. Sorry, I was just looking at something else and going like, I don't know if that one's okay, lol. But, where is... where is the thing? Here's the thing. This is where I wanted to put it. But yeah, the plan is basically just to do more tumbling stuff tonight. Work out a couple things, and then go from there. Secret game. Secret game, ideally, I should be able to really show off at some other point in the future. But we gotta see how it goes. Okay, what's that? Alright, let's go. So basically, on the main docket today for Tumble Ring is that I gotta figure out how to get object kicking to work from all directions. That is the one thing that is not happening at the moment. Yeah, that's like the one thing that's not happening at the moment, so I need to figure out what's going on with that. And if you don't know what I mean by object kicking, I will demonstrate in a second. Here. Hey Vinka, how you doing? It's over here. Okay. Let's go over to here, and now I just need to properly get this going. Hey Maeve, how you doing? Just give me 1 second. I am I'm getting all my windows sorted out as far as this stuff goes. Yeah, how y'all doing? Hopefully well. Okay, right, so let me explain what I mean by like object kicking, because I realized that I only vaguely alluded to it like once and then didn't quite explain it. So, the main idea behind Tumble Ring is that, good, gonna update the house. Yeah. For those who know, I wish you all a very happy return of Plug On. If you know, you know. Well, yeah, to describe what I meant by like object kicking, right? So with Tumble Ring, the idea is that... Oh, Sean, I'm suffering from really damn hell. I missed that. Oh, I need to update... I gotta update the chat frame at some point, because we're getting text cut off, and I didn't realize that. Probably just wasn't accounting for Maeve's name being as long as it is. So I gotta fix that. That's a future SJ problem. He'll deal with that later. But yeah, basically insofar as Tumble Ring, the thing I was trying to talk about in terms of like object kicking, right? One of the basic ideas behind tumbling is that you should be able to charge into objects and kick them in the direction that you're facing. And I have that mostly working, but only from the front. Like, only if you, like, kick from here does it actually work correctly. So, the first thing I'm going to try to do is see if I can, like, adjust that by making the actual hurt box larger, and see if that helps deal with the issue that we're having. Mostly like this. Basically, right, as y'all can see, if I approach it from the top, works fine, right? Or at least some of the code that I have going works correctly. So I'm going to pop open test object to demonstrate basically where it is that we happen to actually be getting the right hit, and then we're going to go from there to try to figure it out. Okay. So, we are getting a thing where, at least if we approach it from the top, right? If we approach it from the top, we get this one, right? Which means that only from... And I'm trying to figure out if it's a thing where it's because the players... charge area. Hang on a second. Oh. That would be why, wouldn't it? Okay, I have a plan. I have a thought. Because it's very possible that... So, here's the rub, right? Well, two things. First of all, I should look at this thing and try to make this the charge. Okay, so the charge area is this. The charge hitbox, that needs to be a little bit bigger. Not really wider so much. Need to lengthen it. Yeah, from a position perspective, it should be like... Yeah, okay, so that's good where it is. Right? And now the player hurt bot. Okay, so... Oh. So this is hurt box. Shit. Do hit charge hitbox. Shit. We need to name these roughly, reliably, so I'm actually paying attention to what they are. So the player push box is this, which isn't quite accurate. So the player push box is this, right? Now let's take a look at the collision stuff. Transform. So over here, let's see, collision, right? Characters, ground, characters, objects. That's handled, right? So this, oh. Yeah, right now, let's do it like this. I just want to, because I stopped and I thought about it and I realized that because of how all of these are overlapping, if I have too many of those things. Okay. Okay. So it's still not working when we collide from the sides or behind, but it is from up here. Which makes me wonder... Okay. My suspicion is that the other stuff may not be rotating properly. So let's take a look. So player mesh. Okay, so the mesh is rotating. What about the charge area? Aha! That's what it is. So when we're looking over here, right? If you notice, if I look at the player mesh, right? It says that the rotation is -45, right? And then if I move a little bit, right, it goes back to 0. So the problem is that the charge area and the hurt box aren't rotating with the player, which we can fix. I basically just need, where is it? Subnode, we need export node 3D, hurt box node, like hurt box root node, and then we're gonna do export node 3D charge hitbox root node. And then very simply, the only thing that we really need to do is so we're going to do this for that part. So when we charge, right, we're going to make sure that the hurt box is turned toward whatever direction that we're charging toward, right? Similarly, over here, you need to make sure that the charge hitbox root node, as well as the... Alright, Vinka, I meant to ask, what kind of death hell are you in? Because you mentioned it earlier, and I forgot to. Okay, so now we've got that. Dang, wrong scene. Hold on, it's gonna not work. Oh, I forgot. Whoops. I have to come back over to here. Now. Wait, no, I did that wrong. There we go. Okay. So now it works for every direction except for down. So if I turn this way, let me see. I'm gonna go to the remote and let's see here. Okay, so player charge area. Okay, so it is doing all the rotations that it needs to do. But now, for some reason, now we're running into the opposite problem. We're basically approaching it from any angle. Okay, so for test object, let's adjust a couple things. Get the kick speed. That's a magic number there that I'm going to need to replace later. But I just want to get it to, like... Yeah, there we go. So 2 is probably too fast. But yeah, as you can see, basically literally the only problem is that for whatever reason, approaching it from the top now has the same problem that approaching it from any other angle did before, where we're not able to detect. So I have a plan B. So okay. So yeah, for whatever reason, whenever we run into it from the top, no good. I wonder. Because basically the main issue is that I can't, in the remote, in this smaller window, I can't see precisely where the I can't see precisely wait. Okay. Hold on. Pondering. Yeah, that's what it was. So, I figured it out. basically what happened was that, so here's the way that this works, right? I'm gonna break this down for a second, explain why this happened. So, there are basically 3 different sort of shapes that we're using that are related to collision for the player in the current setup of Tumbling. There are 3. The first one is this player push box that you see here. The player push box is not meant to interact with charging or any other form of the player push box is not meant to interact with charging or any other form of like kick mechanics or anything like that. The player push box is literally just there so that it's like, hey, this is the contact that you have for like the player against walls or the players against other players, assuming that they're not like trying to charge at each other, right? Or what have you. Basically lurking, yeah, it makes all good. What about your thing? Well, right now... Hey, Shan. Right now, we're just doing Tumble Ring because, doing any, work... Yeah, doing any work on, Mystery Project right now is... just not that it's like bad, but more like we need to like do a couple of other things before I feel like getting back up to streaming that. I want to like actually knock out a couple things and like talk with the team and sort out a couple of other important stuff before we worry about like getting back into before I feel comfortable streaming that, right? About a thing because people don't pay attention. Give me 1 second. Testing a thing in Final Fantasy for improve the new Pixar while listening to the process. Eee. But yeah, hi Shan. Hopefully you're doing well. Okay, right. Yelling handled. So, the collision stuff that I was talking about, right? Oh right, I need to turn off. Ignore Nightbot. We're not playing SMT. I need to go turn that off. Hold on. Nightbot.tv. I forgot to turn that off. No, I don't need to add the chat. Where's the login button? Let's see, what did y'all do? What did y'all change? I hate it when people do that and don't warn me. It's stressing me out. Content warnings off for anything because we're not doing anything with that. Okay, right. Okay. So, the collisions thing that I was explaining before I got distracted by people not reading and making life difficult. Let me clarify what was happening here. So let me open this back up. Right. So basically there are 3 hitboxes for a player in Tumble Ring. Or 3 sort of collision areas, we'll call them. Because saying that they're all hitboxes is a little bit misleading. There's sort of like 3 collision components in Tumble Ring for a player. At least in the way I have it currently built out. We have the player push box, which like I was saying earlier, is basically just for the player being able to physically like interact with and not be able to like pass through other players, the floor, or objects that you kick around, right? So that's what the player push box is for. It's literally just a, hey, you can't whatever with these, right? You can't actually push boxes or anything, but it's just there to be like the basic sort of like, you can't move past this collision thing, right? Aside from that, we have the player charge area, which is basically a hitbox for when the player is attempting to like rush forward, right? So the charge area, however, has its own thing where it's a player hitbox, and it only interacts with player hurt boxes and object hurt boxes, and that's it. Similarly, the player hurt box is on its own layer of just player hurt box. It has no mask data here, but that's because if you look over here at the player charge area already has a mask for colliding with player hurt boxes. So we should not need a second one. I haven't tested this yet, but I haven't had a chance to. So the hurt box is supposed to be for detecting when an object is kicked into the player or something similar of that nature, right? The reason why we weren't able to like actually detect bumping into the test object from all sides before is because this player push box, I extended it too far forward, so the player push box was covering up part of the charge area, which prevented the code from actually detecting it correctly. But now that I've kind of shrunk that back, right, now we can kick from all directions, right? And that's pretty much what I was looking for. Right. So now we get like a nice little kick effect, where like the box will travel a little bit further away from you when you kick it, and that's ideally what we want. So now, what we really need to do is okay, so we got the kick directionality stuff is all sorted out. So now the part that's, we got the part that wasn't working a minute ago working now. So now we just need to like figure out so yeah, now that we've got that working, basically we just need to start figuring out let me go pop open my Godot collection window thingamadooz, because now we need to figure out I'm gonna wait for that one. That looks like that's gonna be complicated. That's also land server thing, which is not what I'm looking for right now. Okay. Okay. Add-on provides two simple APIs using normal input actions but spread out across the keyboard player and 8 joypad players. Okay. I hope this works. Because basically the thing about multiplayer input in a lot of cases is that so add-ons. Yeah, let's just grab this one and hopefully this works. So grab this, come over here. Gotta go with the tumbling. And on time for Sheen. Yes, hi Cat Wizard. If anything, I started late because I had a hyperfixation moment with Final Fantasy XIV and I couldn't get my brain to cooperate with like stopping. So I had to like basically get my brain to cooperate with that and then go eat. So if anything, I'm the one that started a little bit late. Just gonna put this in here. And then it is time to hope that that's what I was worried about. Object settings. Okay, so let's see how this thing works. Okay, let's see. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot. So, I'm just looking things over right now, and I'm thinking very carefully about whether or not this means, based on the things that I'm seeing, whether or not I literally am about to like start doing network stuff, because I might be doing that, and that's a whole lot to try to do over here all at once. So I'm gonna just look into a couple more Godot local areas. So. Yeah, looks like. I'm looking at a guide right now to see. Okay, I know what I'm doing now. We're gonna try using the plugin that I just picked up. Okay, thank you for the look, Val. Appreciate it. Let's see. entirely in Godot script, so that's a slight problem. But okay. Fine. Because depending on how this goes, I might switch over to Bioport Busters also. That is entirely a possibility depending on how this goes. Because I think... Okay, let me try something real quick. Because there's a pretty good chance that because this is a GD script thing, I don't think I'll be able to do this without... Because I don't think it'll transfer over to C#. So we may have hit a stopping point insofar as this is concerned, unless I literally stop and start like working on networking stuff right now, which is not something I don't want to do, but more that that's something I want to figure out on my own, as opposed to, because like networking is one of those things that I really have not done before in any significant capacity, which means that if I have to do like a bunch of rebuilding of tumbling in the way that it works, I would rather do that off stream where I can like sit down and like really dig into the guts of it and mess up a couple times to then be able to explain it correctly. Because networking is a whole different animal to kind of catch up on. So I'm gonna try one thing real quick, but I have a sneaking suspicion that it's not gonna work the way I would like. Hang on. Yeah. Because it involves some kind of like... Let's see here. Yeah. Basically it involves figuring out how to access a GD script. I could try one thing, I guess. Go access GD script class in C#. Okay. Okay. So it looks like that might be a stopping point. Looks like that might be a stopping point because the module that I found for doing multiplayer input with Godot only works with GD script. And while I might be able to get it working by doing, by getting networking stuff set up, because then each networked player, will be taking in separate inputs, right? Right, that would be the ideal way to do it. Huh. Yeah, it's one of those things where it might be possible for networking to maybe resolve the issue that I'm having, but I can't do it right now. So that doesn't mean stream stops, but I'm probably going to switch what I'm working on. So let me, in fact, go get that set up right now, in theory. So I'm going to save this. And I'm probably going to have to like save some of the big stuff on it for like when networking is happening. So use this also, and then. So this does not mean that we don't have anything to work on. It just means I need to switch what we're working on. It's been that long since I opened it up. Alright, well, let's do it. Hey, Rigel. How you doing? Hopefully well. Let's do. We gotta do. Initiating for the week, so I'm just chilling. How are you? I'm doing all right. We have to switch what I was working on because I need to update the sheet title. Because the specific problem that I wanted to solve is going to involve something. It's going to involve more involved work than I want to get into on stream right this second. So I was just like, we're still gonna be doing like game dev stuff. I just need to switch which thing we're developing with because shenanigans. So round transform. Let's make this. And do I want to use? That's the real question, right? Because the camera. Where's the camera? So. Okay. Start point. Here's the camera. Okay. Figure out. Window for the camera is right now because okay, so this is the view window for the camera. All right, I need to probably start this over just a little bit because okay, I don't remember when I was the last time I worked on this, so there are going to be some things that probably don't work right. So let me see here. But yeah, I'm all right, Rigel. Thank you for asking. It's mostly now we are just at the part of this where I'm like, I need to like sit down and refigure out how I did any or all of this. What did I do? That seems off. Okay. Let's just skip in here. It's because this is backwards. Okay, that did solve it. That's good. Okay, and the ad break ended just in time too. That's good. Okay, good. Camera follow. Okay. Jeez. I really hate video tutorials. And I never obtained anything video tutorials, anything we did. Yeah. Like even the good video tutorials are kind of just like it takes a bunch, and I'm just trying to like actively I just need like one very specific thing, and it's a lot of like listening and unpausing and stuff. So basically, it looks like the thing I'm going to primarily do is come back over here. So right now we have like the camera existing out here. We're going to get rid of that. What's going to happen is we're going to put the camera, we're going to add the camera to the we're going to add the camera to the player. So let me see here. Because negative Z is the forward. So I'm gonna make a couple of adjustments here to make sure that this is correct. Okay, good. It's gonna fix the camera rotation. Just about there. Alright, the only thing I need to do is fix the player controls. Then we should be good to go. Welcome back. Let's see. So, sorry, the base is probably a little. Right. Am I winning? It, 50-50. So basically, we had to switch. We had to switch off the tumble ring because sorting out one of the specific. I had to take care of the baby. She was crying when I got back, and I said, "No, yeah, entirely fair." The long and short of it is that the stuff with tumble ring more or less hit a little bit of a snag on account of. Some of the stuff with tumble ring hit a snag on account of oh, I should do this. That's why. Oh, that's what it is. Right, because facing nonsense. I need to fix this actually. Okay, hold on. I gotta figure out a couple things real quick. But yeah, the long and short of it is that basically we had to switch off a tumble ring mostly because there are some complications dealing with like multiple inputs basically that I am not prepared to solve right this second. There's some things that I wasn't prepared to solve for tumble ring inputs right this second, so I was just like, yeah. Okay, so okay, I think that should probably fix it. Almost, but not quite. So yeah, we switched over to a different 3D prototype that I have now that I have a slightly better grasp of how 3D works in Godot. So this goes the correct way, but the rotation is still not right. So okay. This so that should be okay now. So, test level. Hold on a second. What am I not looking at here? Where is this? Something's itching at me a little bit here. Okay, remote. Player. Okay. Which means I might have put the camera on the wrong spot. Because if the issue is that we're not moving correctly relative to that. Yeah, if we're not moving correctly relative to that, means I put the camera on the wrong spot. Okay, hold on a sec. So the camera is over here, and I assumed, yeah, that's why. So we're gonna undo that. The camera needs to be on this side over here, and then I need to turn the camera a little bit again. Okay, that's good. So now the only thing is that I need to fix the... Yeah, there we go. Alright. So now pretty much the only thing we need to do now that I've got like the facing stuff sorted out is mostly the camera. So the camera is over here on the character's right side, basically, right? And we'll leave this on the left orthogonal so we can like see it according to where that is. So now that we have this, the main thing that we need to do with this camera is get it. I think the field of view is also like a lot narrower, right? So let me do this. Let's see something real quick. Yeah, okay, so let's put that way. That's fine. 75 is fine, give or take. And then I just like adjust the height or something a little later. So basically, the thing that we need to do with the 3D camera now is that rather than have it just pointing straight at the character, we need to put it on basically a camera arm, right? So we're going to try to set up basically a thing that sort of extends, not a literal line that can be seen in game necessarily, but we're going to set up like a metaphorical camera arm that is attached to the player so we can get like all the nice little like smoothing, like the nice little smoothing stuff. And that's called a camera rig. So I'm going to try to follow this guide and get that going right now. Okay, cool. So that part makes sense. So now I just need to get the camera into the right position by messing with the camera target. So the camera controller, the transform is all zeroed out. The target, it's zeroed out again, and 90. Good. All right. So basically, this is what the guide was explaining. In order to make this work, right? And we'll just call this like. So here's basically the way this works, right? For all intents and purposes, the camera controller sits right here at the base of the player. The camera target, so the camera target, we're going to set it up so the camera target's position slightly adjusts a little bit behind where the player's actual position is, so that when the camera follows the camera target, rather than immediately snapping to where the player's current position is, it takes a little while and like smoothly like does what we call a lerp, linear interpolation. So like a little bit of easing in and a little bit of easing out. So the reason why we have to set all this up is so that basically, right, the distance between the camera controller and the camera target, that's the arm, right? Because you notice how the controller is right here and then the target is out here, right? The line between these two is basically the camera, is basically the arm of the camera. So we're going to set it up so that when the player moves, right, the camera target, like, we'll set it up so that like that line in between adjusts itself to follow on like a very slight interpolation delay, so it doesn't like snap around and like get sharp and look kind of like nauseous looking. Whoa, that's powerful. So basically, here's the important thing, right? This is something I didn't realize, and this is something that is making me go, okay. So here's the deal. By checking this node that says, by checking this option that says top level, right? This transform of the node will not inherit its transformations from its parent. So in other words, right, when the character moves around, you'll notice before, right, we were following. If I come back over here and I come back to the player and I uncheck top level, and I go back and I come to the test level, what's the difference? Now, the reason why we want to uncheck or why we want to have top level checked is very simple. Remember how I said we want to make sure that the camera target position, however it is that we do that, we want it to lag behind just a little bit? That's what we're doing here, right? We are very deliberately trying to make it so the camera controller's movement is independent of the players, so that we can like actively so that we can like actively decide how that updates and we can control it better. Yeah, that works. So, it looks like to do this before all the so update the camera. do. Thank you. Where? So. Oh, the top. Okay. Okay, I think that this should more or less. Yeah. So y'all notice how, like, at least right now, right? So you'll notice that when I move, right, there's a little bit of slowness there, which is on purpose. The lerp part basically says this, right? Linear interpolation is basically saying between any two given points, move us to this percent of a position between the two of them. That's basically what linear interpolation means. So this number functionally determines like how far that is. So need to charge. All right. Float. So, because I don't like having magic numbers, I'm going to take this and we're going to do camera follow speed. And now this way I can also demonstrate to y'all more clearly how we can sort of affect all of that. So in the remote, we're going to go over to here. And you see camera follow speed is at 0.15. Looks like this, right? I change to 0.5. We get this. Camera follow speed is 1. It basically behaves like this. .05, you notice it takes a little bit longer, right? So basically, like I was saying before, as far as like linear interpolation goes, basically pretend that with, I can probably just use a diagram to illustrate this. So you know what I'm gonna do? Let's go open it. Paint. And I'm gonna use Paint to explain this. I have stolen this idea from Pirate Software. But it works very well to explain this story. So, okay, so the game windows and the game development windows, we're going to do window capture, MS Paint, and for right now, look at that. This, and I just need to... Come on, OBS, don't be silly, please. Okay. Oh, that's cool. I don't think y'all can... Yeah, y'all can't see the other things. Cool. So I can, like, actually... I can actually, like, change my paint settings without y'all seeing stuff, ideally. Because... God, does this hurt? I need to get close enough. Alright, so... Let me grab... Where's my drawing tablet? Do I want to be bothered until I actually set it up? Yeah, so it'll be easier with the drawing tablet. So let me just get that going. So, LIRP. Linear interpolation. That sounds really scary, but linear means line, and interpolate means basically to sort of like... I could go look up the actual definition, but in rough layman's terms, the idea behind interpolation is that you are basically working an interaction between two states of being. That is functionally what interpolation is. So, linear interpolation means along a line, you are sort of interacting between two states. That's really all that means. So, okay, I think, yeah, that went up over here. So, I think I can switch this to... I think I can switch this to switch which monitor it's on. Work area. Display to. I'll apply that right now. Because it's easier over here. Okay, so, linear interpolation. Or LIRP. So, if you have a line, right? We'll say that this part of the line is 0 and this part of the line is 1, right? And basically, as you gradually increase whatever value from 0 to 1, right? You are moving from left to right. So all a LIRP is basically is saying, hey, between this point and this point, whatever number that we choose here, for example, 0.15, means that whatever value lies in between any two given points, if we say, for example, okay, LIRP to 0.15, we go to like 15% of the distance between those two, right? If we were to say LIRP to 0.5, right, then we LIRP to whatever value is in between these two values. So how does this work for like position and stuff? It's pretty straightforward, right? Or rather, how is this working in the code is very straightforward. So we are LIRPing, right? So between the camera controller's position. So the camera controller node position, this part is our 0 from this diagram. So I'm gonna put it like this. So let me clear this out. And we're gonna explain it like this now. So, alright. So the camera control is our first point. So we're going to pretend that's 0. Right? Player pause, we're going to pretend is our second point. 1. Right? So basically speaking, lerp is going to take whenever. So let me do it like this. Pause. So the position of the camera control and the player position, the distance between those two things will be calculated. And then depending on what we set the camera speed to, that is as far as the camera's control position is going to change. So if we say that the camera's speed is supposed to lerp to... Can I do a straight? Yeah, I can just do a straight line like that. That's much easier. So let me... I forgot I can literally just hold down shift and draw straight lines like that. And it makes my life so much easier. So, alright. Over here, hold down shift. I'm just going to do a straight line across. Okay. Right? So we have the camera control position. We're going to count that as our 0. Player's position is what we're going to count as 1. So if we say that the camera speed, right, is 0.05, that means that the camera will basically only, it will travel, so let's say, I'm going to do it right, 0.05 is an arbitrary value. Basically, if we say that the camera's speed is 0.05, the camera will basically only move to here and then stop. Right? And then once we are no longer moving, it will gradually catch up with, because once we stop moving, right? So let's just say stops here while player moves. So while the player is moving, if we set the camera speed to 0.05, we literally cannot go past this point. So while the player is moving, if we set our camera speed to 0.05 while we're lerping, it will only go from here to here, and then it will stay here until we stop moving. Once we stop moving, what happens is, because the player's position, once we stop moving, the player's position is no longer changing, right? Which basically then allows the camera's position to gradually catch up to the player's position, right? Think of it like this. While we are moving, the player's position kind of keeps increasing in value, right? And so proportionally speaking, the camera's speed is always going to remain basically like that 0.05 behind the player's constantly increasing position. So it's like this, basically, right? Once the player stops though, the camera's still all the way out here. So like my hand with the player's obviously to do this. So like once the player stops and the camera's still over here, right? We still have to catch up somehow or another, right? So it gradually moves in until so the camera's trying its best, yes. And how much of its best is trying is determined by what we set the lerp percentage to. The higher the lerp percentage, the farther the camera can go in order to keep up. which is why, so I'm going to switch back over here again to demonstrate this so y'all can see what I mean by this, right? So when the camera follow speed is set to 0.05, right? We are basically restricting the camera from keeping up with us at a significant pace. And so once we stop moving, the camera finally has time to like catch back up. And because the camera speed is so, the follow speed is so low, right? The camera follow speed being as low as it is means that it's like, okay, right, now I can catch, like it lags so far behind that eventually it catches it, right? Now, if I were to increase this, if I increase the camera follow speed, it is able to track us more closely, right? If I increase the camera's follow speed, it's able to track us more closely, which means it has less catch-up to do once the player stops. But that causes the motion to look more jittery, right? In terms of like the way that the camera catches up. So we want a relatively low follow speed in whatever aspect that we choose, so that when we move, right? So we don't want it too low, because if it's too low, at least in this case, then, right, we start to see, I saw that, hydrate, don't hydrate, by the way, I will shortly. So we don't want it to be too slow, or what happens is that it lags so much that we can see like other parts of the thing, like other parts of that we don't want to. But at 0.05, for example, right? We get a nice little thing where we see maybe just like a little bit of the back of the player, but not that much. I wanted to make it a little tighter, 0.1 puts us here, right? And we still have that nice little, like, it still eases in a little bit, but it doesn't, like, it still eases in a little bit, but it doesn't stick super tight. If I want to adjust this further, right, if I take the camera target, so like here's basically, because it's moving the camera controller, right? So for the camera target, if I push this over a little bit and then do this, you'll notice the camera tracks a little bit farther behind us, right? So basically speaking, all I really have to do if I really want to be able to like control this better is, for all intents and purposes, right? All I really have to do is like that. Now, I saw the hydrate, don't hydrate. I'll do that in a second. So I'm gonna do, I just need to do one thing real quick. I have to think about this a little bit. Because basically now the hard part is that, basically speaking, unless you leave certain boundaries of the of where you're moving and where you're jumping, for example, you don't necessarily want a jump to automatically make the camera follow you upward. I'm going to go get a drink right now because Cat was deemed that. So the part that I have to sort of like figure for now is, and I wish I hadn't lost this article, because there's this really nice article I read once that describes a bunch of the different kinds of ways you can get camera behavior to work in games, and I just never. I don't remember where I found it. I can't say, and I would have to go look it up. But like, as an example, if for example you've played like Super Mario World, right? You'll notice that when Mario is jumping within a certain window of the actual camera, right? The camera will not move up and down. With him. Similarly, in Super Mario World, for example, when Mario moves left and right, oh, we have an ad break. While ads are going, I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and action. Henty! There's only one person who can stop, and that's me. Hey everybody, my name is Sean. They call me either that or SJ. As I say on my own channel, make games, I play games. Games make do, basically. Did you really think that I was going to let you hit me with that? No. Guess what? I'm still alive, motherfucker. Going too fast is no good. Shut the fuck up. What else you got? I have to hit button. Button hit good. This no count, no good, self-absorbed. Giving free turns goes against my professional ethics. I saved your ass! Yo, the nerve of this motherfucker. The absolute gall. The complete stinkiness. Do you see these motherfuckers? They stole all my shit! Fuck out of here. Fuck you. I don't give a fuck now. Stank ass, punk ass, smelly ass motherfucker. Yo! Not with the deep cut. My brain is full of feels. Anyway, so fuck. We should just play this fucking video game. Damn it. That's not fair. No, that's fighting dirty. You can't do that. Just because it's correct doesn't mean it's right. Just for that, I'll teach y'all to talk to me about the consequences of my own actions. And now, this poll that I'm not going to look at the results of yet, I'm lying, I'm going to look right now. Jesus fuck! Why are y'all like this? What was the reason? This is all according to my calculations. We will probably be fine. What? God damn it. Can somebody clip that? Going too fast is no good. You facetious motherfuckers. You really are gonna stand up in front of God and everybody. Oh my fucking God. No. No. I can't fucking stand you. How dare you? How very dare you? You right, but shut up. Give me a church. I told y'all I was gonna get a church, and I got a church. Apis above be praised. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. And peanut butter. Praise be to Lord R.N. Jesus. For in our time of need, he has provided. Can I get a blessings to R.N. Jesus in the chat? I have to behave. I have to behave. I have to behave. I have to behave. You know what? I'm just gonna do this.
What kind of just nonsense did you just... What in the hell do you mean? You put me on your whole motherfucking screen?
They're all gonna die. Somebody clip that. Oh no. Not again.
Y'all do what I think y'all did?
Y'all can't bully me like this. Y'all got me all kinds of twists turned up right now. I don't know what the...
I applaud you, but also, god fucking damn it.
I would just be like... Fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I should be fine. Fuck all of you. No! No! No!
That's not how this works. I am the danger.
Oh yeah! I'll respond to that, but fuck! That's shit! Fuck! That's all I have to say in response, you know? If you are into fighting games, JRPGs, game design talk, and all that other kind of stuff, please feel free to follow me over at twitch.tv/SJHSaysGames. I can't fucking stand y'all. I can't. Y'all are the absolute fucking worst. I love this fucking community so much. Y'all are just the best. You know that? All of y'all. All of y'all in here. I appreciate y'all so much.
You got the Straight Mom seal of approval.
Also because I'm handsome.
Good job.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. And action.
Henty!
The jump to the sky turns to a rider kick.
There's only one person who can stop, and that's me. Hey everybody, my name is Sean. They call me either that.
Thank you so much for the sub. Thank you so much for the sub, Maeve. Deeply appreciate it. Thank you. Right. So the thing that I was going to explain about cameras. Let me sit down. Sorry. And then I immediately sat down on my drawing tablet because I'm a human being that is not clumsy. Right. So with platformer cameras, there are a lot of different ways to handle it, right? I think this method is probably good enough for now. Let me check something real quick. Okay, good. Okay, let's see. Let's try that. Yeah, deeply appreciate the sub. Thank you. Hopefully the actual sub sound played while we were AFK. I'm gonna be very sad. But right, camera stuff. So in different platformers, different cameras behave differently, which is obvious, but let me explain what I mean by that, right? With Super Mario World, I should say specifically as an example. With Super Mario World, for example, Mario sort of has this box around him within which he can move freely without the camera shifting to follow him, right? Once Mario begins to push against the soft boundaries of that box in any direction, then the camera nudges up a little bit to follow him, right? That is not the camera that we have right now. The camera that we have right now, basically, right, is set up so that any movement that we make, even when we jump, for example, right? Oh, I messed up something. Hold on. It's back here, actually. I didn't realize that doing that would cause that to get upset, so I'm going to do it like this instead. So yeah, you'll notice when we jump, right? I should also probably increase the gravity for the player. Fall acceleration. Let me see something here. There's something that I forgot here, and it's gonna itch my brain a bunch. That's right. I may have forgotten what direction is up and what direction is down. Okay, that's about right. There we go, much better. So, Tumble Ring was a prototype I was working on earlier in the stream. Mostly Oh, I forgot to switch that. Damn it. It was a local multiplayer prototype I was working on earlier on stream. I stopped for today only because I stopped today mostly because I hit a spot where it was like, right, Godot and doing a bunch of... Have you ever gone back? Not yet. The primary reason why I haven't yet is mostly that I want to sort of feel out a couple of things in Godot's 3D space a little bit more before I go back to doing that one. I think I have just about enough of an understanding of most of the things that I was doing in that with Godot now to go back to it in theory if I wanted to, but it would take a little more work, mostly just because like a lot of it has to deal with what's the word I'm looking for? At this point I could probably reasonably get EO from that game, the main character, moving around in Godot pretty quickly, but a lot of the other stuff like state machines and card stuff, like I'd have to basically redo all that from the ground up. I'd have to like sit down and like redo from the ground up a lot of like the state machine stuff, card and deck stuff, all of that. It's a little more complicated than I'm willing to dig into right now. So I took a couple steps back and I'm just working on slightly more basic 3D projects to sort of like get a better feeling for the way that Godot works in 3D before I start consider doing that again. Even just like prototype it out a little bit. Yeah, that's not going to be for a while. Normally I would be doing like programming for a game that we currently have as like a that we currently have as a as a co-development project that I'm doing with Munity right now. Shoot Lancer is not like canceled or anything. We just put it on pause for a second while we reassess how we want to run the backer campaign and all that other stuff. We have to sort of sit down and reassess that. So while we were doing that, I'm just kind of like running my hand at a couple different prototypes on Wednesdays, just to like, even if I'm not doing anything with that, I'm deliberately just trying to like get myself back together. Okay, right. I was saying a thing, and then I lost my train of thought. Sugar. That's bad. My brain shut off. No, 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 no. Of all the times for my brain to shut off. Oh, right. It was talking about, like, stuff with, like, oaks and things like that. Right. At some point, I would like to go back to that, but the other main caveat is that I'm going to have to figure out at some point how to get brain to be like, yeah. I have to figure out basically how to get animation stuff to work properly between Blender and Godot. I don't know how to do that yet. Unity, I was able to like clutch together something that vaguely works, but Godot needs something a little more specialized, and I probably need to redo the way I did animations in Blender anyway. So a lot of like going back to Ults and reviving it in Godot is reliant on skill set stuff that I have to work on developing through other spots. Right, I was saying before. Right, that's what I was saying. So, otherwise, if we're not on the ground, increase the target velocity by our fall acceleration in order to make us fall faster. Velocity is then set according. Velocity is increase the y component of our target velocity by a fall. If we are on the floor, force target velocity back to 0 on the y-axis so we don't keep making gravity while standing on the ground. And switches out of various states depending on if we're moving on the ground. Otherwise, if we are on the floor, otherwise if we're not on the floor, increase that. Cool. Now I just need to go put a couple of notes in here. Jumps. Display this. I'm just going back and commenting these so that like later, like future me isn't upset about all of this. And the follow speed for the camera. Nope, don't need that one. I'm curious. Nope. No. Okay. Okay, let's see. I think if I did this correctly. Yeah, there we go. And now it's a nice little slider. Only go between 0 and 1. Alright. Okay, so that works nice and smooth. So yeah, as you can see, right, the camera is basically minus like the little bit of the intentional sort of like they catch up from the lerp. And now we have it as like a nice slider between 0 and 1. And yeah, the movement looks about right. The gravity feels about right also, right? And that's mostly the thing that I was doing, right? Because we could, for example, change the fall. Like basically, if we lower the fall acceleration, then what happens is we get floatier, right? But in this case, 125 is fine. Curious about one thing. So I'm going to check one thing real quick because we're getting close to time. So. Oh, it's already doing that. So I just made it do it twice. Okay, so then I don't actually need to do this. I just need to actually literally just increase this. If I double it, then it should be fine. I was sitting here going like, not falling fast enough. So. There we go. Yeah, still jitters a little bit on it. But... good. So yeah, I went back and added comments and things like that, just like at least when I'm looking at the code, I'm good. Have a direction. Okay. Cool. So that handles all of that, basically. Alright, let's see here. Or I was feeling a little bit more like myself. Right. Now, the only thing I think I'm going to do, like, it's the last thing before we head out, getting close to time. I'm going to take the camera target here. Just pull the camera back a little bit more. Yeah, so basically the only other thing I would need to figure out as far as the camera's actual behavior is concerned is that, and I would probably do this in a script on the camera controller itself, really. What I would like to do probably at some point is set up that push box I was talking about earlier with the Super Mario example, where I was like, until Mario pushes against So, yeah, basically at some point in the future, figuring out that vertical soft zone is what I would want, so that every time, Koro jumps, we don't like run into this issue. Because basically the other alternative that I could do in order to like enforce that, come over to the player script, right? I could do, for example, like I think I might be able to lock the Y position of the camera, or at least of the camera controller, but I don't know for sure. Visibility. Hang on. Yeah, I don't think I can like actually lock it like that. It's basically a thing where I'd have to like sit down and like figure out how to like lock down a bunch of other stuff, and that's too much effort. So we're not going to do that right now. This is good enough. And we're also coming up on time, so I don't want to like, if I talk too much, I'm going to wind up running into the ads again. So it's about time that we get going. Thank you all for coming by. Deeply appreciate it. I'll see if next week I have anything for Tumble Ring again, or if we do Secret Game Project or what have you. A couple things we can figure out. But as a general heads up, spots you can find me. Co-host is read-only now, so it doesn't really work that way anymore. If you want to read game design articles I've done, go to Medium. Stream VODs are up at youtube.com/@SBasesGames. Ko-Fi, if you want to support me in the stream, but don't want to support Amazon and Jeff Bezos. Monthly Ko-Fi is better for me than a sub is. If you have to pick one or the other, I would prefer I prefer Ko-Fi, but if you're like, I really don't want that, subs are fine. Your decision. Throne, if you want to help like crowdfund for like office things, I call them, like stuff like my desk for streaming or for just like regular around the house stuff. I have a couple things up on Throne that you can help contribute to that way, or like funny stream redemption things. Your call. My card is on my social media links. Basically, I'm primarily just active these days, primarily on Blue Sky. That's where I live, pretty much. If you want to know more about Munity, which is the indie game studio co-op that I helped co-found, you can go over to munity.games. Our Patreon has both a free and a paid tier, and both give you access to our Discord where you can hang out and do stuff like that. And then if you want to actually play Shoot Lancer, which is the most developed prototype that we currently have up and available, there's the link right there. It's pay what you want. We have Windows, Mac, and Linux versions. And we'll be working on an update for it in a little bit after we sort out a couple other things. And then last but not least, if you want to hang out with us when stream's not going, we don't have a Discord, we have a Guilded instead. Like, I personally, for this community, have a Guilded. It has a lot of features that Discord makes you pay for, except that they're free. The only downside is that, I'll be upfront, with recent changes, you do have to, like, register a Roblox account. So if you don't want to, if you're like, I don't want to be fucked, that's fine. You don't have to do that. I completely understand if you don't want to. So in terms of who we're going to go hang out with, let me go take a look and see who we can go hang out with. Sunday, we cannot go hang out with... We can hang out with either... No, we went to Cypher last time. Well, we went to Cypher last time. So now I need to just make an executive decision. TV. Give me a second and I'm going to figure out somebody that we can hang out with. I do need to open up Twisted Stream for me, though, because we're going to go there at some point. I think maybe can we do G to the next level is not off cooldown yet. Almost, but not quite. Close. Nightbot, we already did that. Nightbot, we already did that one. Okay. Cancel MD. Okay, cool. J-Rock is off cooldown. So, we're gonna go hang out with J-Rock the God. He's currently playing some Hades 1, doing, it looks like 20 heat, no-handed runs. So, we're gonna go hang out with J-Rock. He does like a lot of different things. He'll do speed runs for like Resident Evil and things like that. He'll play Risk of Rain sometimes. He'll play Hades sometimes. And the best part is that sometimes he'll do these things without using his hands, just his feet. Really cool. So we're gonna go hang out with J-Rock, longtime friend of the Gage Gang. Hit him with an SJ, she does raids. Let him know who sent you. Throw in your favorite emotes. They don't have to be my emotes. Thank y'all for coming by. Deeply appreciate it. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Like at least like a good N95 or KF94 or KN94 or any like good one. Maybe you don't have to. Be excellent to each other. But not to bigots, racist, terrorists, sexist, anti-queer folks, or Zionists. Remember that Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights, reproductive rights are human rights. Palestine, Sudan, Congo, New Caledonia must all be free. That's all just non-negotiable. They all deserve their freedom. Basically, none of us are free till we're all free. So look out for each other. Take care of each other as best as you can. You don't have to fight every big fight in the world. Look at who is around you and who needs help around you and do your best to look after them as you can. And that's pretty much all I got. Thank y'all for coming by. I'll catch y'all either on Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time for more Fighting Friday stuff. Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time for more Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. Or next week, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time for more game dev stuff. Alright, y'all. Take care. Deuces.